You are listening to Studio MacGyver's Dragon Ball and Video Game Podcast.
This is for you. For scaring those things away.
What is going down? What the fuck is going down? It is your boy, Studio MacGyver, and you are listening to Studio MacGyver's Dragon Ball and Video Game Podcast. Welcome to the show. Newcomers, if you're new to the show, welcome. If you're into anime, if you're into video games, nerd culture, we talk about all of that shit here. And I got a good show for us today. So let's get into it, guys. A lot went down this past week. I got a lot to talk about. One in particular, I want to get into the Avengers beta. Yes, I've been playing it. I'm going to talk a little bit about that. Also, man, I have had a blast the last few days. I discovered something that I always wanted to get and add to my collection, and I finally had a chance to do that. It's game related, and I can't wait to talk about that. It's retro game related. So for all the retro heads out there listening, you'll probably enjoy this conversation. Also, I want to talk a little bit about Remedy Entertainment. If you don't know who these people are, they're responsible for the game Control that came out in 2019. And I'm going to talk about that. They've been doing some things. The butter is out, and they are basically trying to incapacitate all of us. So that is a conversation in the future. We also want to talk about some Funimation stuff. There's some Funimation news in the air concerning Dragon Ball. Something they've been doing for a while now. It seems like every year they do something else. They come out with something else, but I'm going to brush over that real quick for us. Also, some Kiss Anime talk, just some news about them. If you guys aren't familiar with anime, Kiss Anime is one of these websites that you can go to and watch a lot of anime for free. Awesome website. Going to talk a little bit about that. Also, Crunchyroll. Crunchyroll has another anime. Want to get into what that anime is. And yeah, they got, they're doing some things out here in these anime streets. And then last but not least, we're going to talk about some Fortnite news. I'm not a Fortnite player, but they're in the news right now because apparently they're in battle. They're going up against the dreaded Apple company. Apparently there's been some butter being pulled out in their vicinity, and I'm going to talk a little bit about what's going on with all of that. Now, without further ado, let's begin the motherfucking show. Okay, that was a lot. Anyway, guys, welcome to the show. All my newcomers, I want to welcome you. I'm glad you're listening. And to everybody who has been listening, guys, it's been a crazy last few days. I didn't get a chance to watch any anime, and man, it was like, it's depressing sometimes, but I guess the anime guys are telling me, last week you watched damn near 3. So it's okay if you don't get a chance to watch very much in the next week or two. So I guess I'm looking at it like that. And like I told you guys before, man, it's kind of a sporadic type of thing. I don't know what's going to happen one day to the next as far as, how I consume my anime, how I do my games and all of that, especially now that I have a newborn, in the house, in the midst. And there's basically a 3-hour clock that always goes off every 3 hours. So basically that's feeding and changing every 3 hours. That is set in stone. So whether I'm doing it, whether her mother is doing it, somebody is going to be doing that. Okay. When we're knocked out and sleep, we have to play the you did it last time game, or I did it last time game. And we have to deal with what we got to deal with. That's just some of the things we have to go through, but it's all good. I wouldn't trade it for the world. And it's just another thing we have to incorporate into our daily activities, but it's all good, man. I'm here and we're going to get busy. And I want to start off today's show talking about some Fortnite shit. Okay, because apparently Fortnite is banned from the Apple and Google stores right now. Okay, now Epic is actually going to or trying to sue fucking Apple right now. Okay, and Apple is, look, I have a love-hate relationship with Apple, me personally. Okay, a lot of people I know listening to this podcast probably fuck with Apple hard body. They have iPhones and all of that. I'm an Android guy when it comes to phones. That's just me. Now, when it comes to, laptops and things of that nature, I have both PC and Apple. I have to give Apple props on their fucking MacBooks though. I do. I'm literally recording on a fucking MacBook right now. I did PC for years, but I recently got a MacBook, and it's been a great experience. I cannot lie to you, but I will say that they are greedy. They have their ways about them, and apparently they want their 30%. Apparently this is over a 30% cut that Apple is wanting to take. And Fortnite, or shall I say Epic Games, was trying to basically find a loophole in the system to get away with paying, that 30%. So without paying that 30% actually. So that's where we're at right now. Epic wants to basically say, okay, we're going to, if we want to sell shit, we're going to allow you guys to go to our storefront and buy the shit here at a discount. Okay. But Apple's saying, no, you need to, buy it through us. If you're playing through us, you need to buy it through us so they can ensure that they get their 30% cut. You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much where we're at right now. And look, they just want their money, and they're going to try to do whatever they need to get it. So Epic went behind their back, so to speak, and they tried to find a loophole, and they got caught. And basically now they are kicked off of the store, and Google also kicked them out of their storefront as well, the Google Play store. So they're only suing Apple right now because I guess they took more offense to Apple, and Apple is a little bit more money hungry. So that's the route that's being taken. It's just a lot of shit going on, guys, when it comes to, video games and how things work now. It's just so many politics involved in this shit. It gets very, very tiring. It really does, man. And sometimes some of this shit, we end up suffering for it. And then sometimes we end up winning behind it. You know what I'm saying? But mostly we end up losing behind it. I can give you so many different examples why, and I'm not even just talking about video games. I'm talking about movies. I'm talking about characters. We can even just talk about simply the Spider-Man fiasco that was taking place here in the last couple of weeks. Okay. With this new Marvel Avengers game. Okay. Sony has exclusive rights to Spider-Man. So they're going to use that to their advantage to try to get more people to buy their system, because Spider-Man, they own the rights to Spider-Man. Same thing with Disney when they bought fucking Marvel and did all this shit and basically took the X-Men off of everything. And that's why we saw Marvel vs. Capcom 3 and Infinite and all these guys missing all these X-Men characters who were staple characters in the earlier games, when games were simple, back when shit was, all good, man. That's why Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is forever and always will be a classic, because they had so many goddamn characters, and that was when everybody was getting along and nobody was saying, no, he's mine or she's mine, and if you want her in the game, you're gonna have to pay us this, and nobody wanted to basically make an agreement. So who ends up suffering in the end? The players. So right now, if you are a Fortnite player and you did happen to buy Fortnite on the App Store or whatever, you're still good. You're grandfathered in. But basically what they did now is, from this moment going forward, everybody else cannot buy the game or access the game through those services, and it is what it is until they sort this shit out. Now they may come to an agreement later. Who knows? Get these lawyers involved. They waste a little money here, there. They pull their dicks out, measure them real quick. Then they might, decide, all right, let's get back to the drawing board and come to some sort of agreement. But like I said, man, it's what goes on all the time, and gaming is not excluded from that. So I thought I'd let you guys know, a little bit of what was going on out there when it comes to that. If you heard it, or maybe you glanced at it in a fucking, article or some shit. Anyway, let's move on. And I want to move on to something else. And I want to move on to anime a little bit. Even though I didn't watch any anime, I still want to talk about anime in general. And I'm talking about Kiss Anime, because Kiss Anime, if you guys aren't familiar with this company, they're basically a free to watch website for anime enthusiasts. You know, you can go there, you can pretty much find any anime subbed or dubbed if it exists on this site, and you can watch it. And apparently they are down right now, and don't, get too surprised, because this is it's not the first time this has happened. But who knows, they might even be back up anytime now. By the time you guys are listening to this, I'm recording this early Sunday morning. Okay. So I'm 3:00 in the morning on Saturday, technically Sunday. But, when you're dealing with free, anytime you have free in it, you're going to run into problems, because just like any other entity, when money's involved, people, start pulling out the lawyers, people start pulling out the warm butter, and they start wanting to start fucking people. And, that's just how it goes. Anime is, in a sense, they're extremely strict and a little bit selfish. A lot of these companies with some of the things that they do. You can go into YouTube, how, there's a YouTuber who just wants to simply play some, show some gameplay on his video, whatever, and they'll get, a copyright strike for that. For maybe the music, or who fucking knows, but you maybe make a thumbnail about, you throw an anime character on there who's well known or something, sometimes they'll come after you for that. It's just, and they're promoting you. They're trying to help you. It's only publicity for you. That's what I don't understand. In Japan, they are kind of strict with that. Now they're kind of loosening up a little bit. But yeah, for a while they used to be extremely strict, and they still are, depending on who or what entity you're talking about or discussing or whatever. But that stuff needs to change. A lot of that needs to change. Now I understand some of it. If somebody's just blatantly trying to, infringe on your copyrights and all of that, I understand that. But goddamn, give somebody a break who's trying to, bring more people to your entity, your product. They're just trying to bring people in. They love it so much. They're passionate about it, and they just want to share it with the world. That's all most of these people are trying to do. So if you're listening out there in your office drinking sake, you're rolling up a scroll about to smoke it, take that into consideration before you start going after these people, your actual fans. Okay. Now, with that being said, I want to talk about Funimation. Yes, Funimation. We all know Funimation. Well, a lot of us know Funimation. If we're talking about anime, they're responsible for doing lots and lots of dubs for us here, especially the Dragon Ball franchise. Now, these motherfuckers are putting out another series, if you will, or collection, another Dragon Ball collection, Dragon Ball Z to be exact. They're doing some sort of, I want to say, steelbook. It looks like a steelbook, but I think last year or maybe a year and a half ago, they just put out another one. It seems like these motherfuckers put out collections every other year, okay, to try to just milk the fans, milk the system. And a lot of people actually buy it, actually fall for the banana in the tailpipe. And hey, if that's what you want to do, if that's your prerogative, by all means, go ahead. The super fans out there, that's fine. I'm one of the biggest Dragon Ball fans out here, but I'm not going to buy everything if that they put out, every version. Okay. It's just another way from them to try to just milk the system, in my opinion. I buy a lot of Dragon Ball shit. If a Dragon Ball game comes out, I'm buying it. I don't care if it's bad or not. I'm going to experience that, but I'm not going to keep on, buying the same shit with different covers on it. It's just not going to happen. So, like I said before, they're doing this again, and I'll keep you guys posted when it actually drops, and I'll look into it and see what differences may be there. But from the outside looking in, it doesn't look too different. It looks like they are just, giving us steelbook shit and different art And that's about it. And sometimes that's enough for some fans out there to make that purchase, to justify buying that shit. And if that's what they want to do, then hey, who am I to hold back a Dragon Ball fan from buying his shit? It's just something that I personally wouldn't do. So I'm not going to hate on you if you do it. But at the same time, I'm not going to indulge in that. Okay. That's done. That's on the table. I can turn around and walk away from that. Now, let's talk some Crunchyroll. Yeah, let's talk a little bit some Crunchyroll. Crunchyroll, if you guys don't know, is another company, another streaming company who, they're known out here in these anime streets. Okay, so if you want anime, you can go here. You can actually watch it free. A lot of them free. Not everything, but a lot of things you can watch free with ads or commercials on the site. Unless you pay the premium price, of course, without the commercials, and you can have access to everything. So it's basically a Netflix for anime fans. And I messed with them for a while. I mean, I had them, I say it made maybe 6 months or something like that. But, I stopped their service because they had a lot of shit that was dubbed. Let me rephrase that. There was a lot of shit that was dubbed out there, but they didn't have it, or they weren't showing it. Now, some people are funny with dubs and subs. Okay. There's some people out there who call themselves elitists or think that they're these elitist people, and they think that, the dub is not the way to go. It's sub all the way. And, I'm here nor there. Okay. It doesn't matter to me. It depends on what I'm doing in my space, in the man cave, what I got going on. Because me personally, I like to multitask a lot of the time. So basically working on 2 to 3 things at once, like YouTube channel, YouTube videos, or I might be working on a design or some shit like that. I have a lot of stuff going on here. So sometimes I have to multitask, and that basically has a lot to do with what I choose to watch and when I choose to watch it. And I'm talking about anime, because I might see a dub on there that, oh, this is dubbed. I'm going to watch this because I can watch that and I can do this at the same time. I can multitask. But whenever you're watching subbed anime, at least speaking for myself, I have to be tuned in. Okay. I can't have any disturbances, because if you turn around for, 30 seconds, man, you could have missed a major plot line or some shit. Okay. Because you have to read everything, and you have to make sure you know what you're watching. And when you have kids and you have all this other stuff going on, that's easily, that can happen so easy. Okay. I'm hungry, or I want to, sandwich or something. Okay. Let me pause this or whatever. You'll understand if you're a father, if you're a parent, you know what I'm talking about. Just multitasking has a lot to do with it. So I would watch a dub or a sub. I've watched plenty of subbed. I've watched plenty of dubbed, and dubbed is just easier for me, and especially when it comes to a lot of names. When we get to like names, I remember when I first started watching Naruto, man, and I watched the majority of it. I watched subbed, but there was a nice little portion that I watched when it was, when it was dubbed, and it was easier for me to remember the names of the characters starting out when I started watching it dubbed, for the simple fact that when you hear them say it, you know that they're pronouncing it correctly. And for the most part, I'll say, and it just makes it easier. You're not even thinking about it. It's like your mind is pre-exposed to it over time, and it just picks it up, as opposed to reading it how you think it may sound, and you're talking about it, and every time you read that word or that name, you think, oh, that's what it is, because you're saying it like that, but that might be the wrong pronunciation. And then people are looking at you like you're purple and shit when you're talking about a character, and they're like, that's not how you say his or her name. It's a lot. We could talk about this for a couple hours, actually, dub versus sub. But in my humble opinion, I love them both. And, when I have time to watch sub, I'll watch them, because there's a lot of anime out here that you can't watch unless you watch it subbed. And there's a whole reason why. That's a big reason why I have a lot of shit on my backlog now, because a lot of that shit is subbed, and I just don't have time to watch that right now. So I pick one of those that are subbed. I have to sit there and make sure I see it all, and, put my time around it. So that's just how I deal with it. Everybody has their own way that they watch their anime. You know what I mean? So That's just how I roll. But anyway, talking about Crunchyroll here, they are kind of on they're kind of on a streak right now. They're on a little streak, and the streak I'm talking about is putting out, this is an original that they're going to be dropping. This new anime that's coming out, and it's slated for October of 2020. And I think you pronounce it Noblest. I want to say Noblest. That's how you pronounce it, but it looks to be pretty fucking good, man. It looks like it's on some vampire type shit about this guy who was, in slumber for like over 800 years. He finally awakens, and he's basically placed in a certain area, a certain land, in the vicinity to protect the people around him. And as he's doing that, I guess he's going to high school, and he has to learn again how to, I guess, act around other people. And he's learning all this on the fly at the same time, knowing that if some shit pops off, he has to protect the people around him. And so, yeah. And in the meantime, there's these people in the shadows that are trying to basically get him out of there, so to speak. And it's more to it than that, but that's a quick little premise of how the story is looking to be shaping up. I'm interested. I'm looking at the art style, and I'm really feeling the art style. But Webtoon is a company who have been putting out some heat as of late. The last couple that they have been streaming, if you want to call it that. There's high school. Wait, let me get it right. Let me make sure I'm not fucking up here. One of them is called Tower of God, which I did have a chance to watch a few of those episodes, and they look pretty dope. That series looks like it's going to be the shit. I hear a lot of people talking about the manga. And then there's another one, God of High School, which has been hyped, for a while now. And I haven't had a chance to watch that one yet, but I heard it was high octane. It was just super, super high octane, and it was like, it's crazy. So that one might be something I get into later as well. But yeah, apparently they're really popular. They're really, they're really popping right now. And this other one that I just mentioned to you guys coming out in October looks like it might be another one. To be honest with you, this is the one that I'm kind of intrigued to watch the most out of those three. If I'm just looking at a glance, if I'm glancing at the artwork and I'm reading the premise of the story, I kind of like that. So we'll see. I'm the type of guy also that I like to let some episodes build up. If it's a new show, okay, I may not watch it for the first 2 or 3 weeks, only because I want, I don't want to watch just one episode. Anime, they're 22 minutes, man. Okay, on average, you're gonna be, you watch that episode and you're gonna be upset because I didn't get a chance to. I want to watch more. I want more. So that is what I probably end up doing. But who knows? Sometimes I bite the bullet and I say fuck it, and I go and I watch it. I remember when One Punch Man season 2 came out. I was so hyped for that shit, man. I couldn't fucking wait. Okay, and then depending on where you watch it, there's different advantages and disadvantages. High Score Girl is another one of my favorite anime now on my favorite list, and I remember waiting for season 2. I kept hearing about it. It was coming to Netflix, but it never came. And then all of a sudden it just popped up. And the beauty of that was being that I could watch it all in its entirety. I didn't have to watch episode by episode, and that was beautiful. So there's some things that you could take advantage of depending on where you watch your shit. Okay. But anyway, I thought I'd let you guys hear about that. Like I said, once again, the anime is called Nobilis, and it is slated for October 2020. It looks very interesting. You guys should definitely check it out. And I'd like to hear from you guys. I'd like to know what you think about this one. Is it something that may intrigue you or not? We'll see. Okay. Now let's get into some of the meat and potatoes of this podcast. And I want to talk about a company who has, surprised me, not for the good necessarily. They have been pulling out some butter lately. Okay. They have hit a couple people upside the head, knocked them out cold, removed their garments. Okay. Slide their dress down, or if you're wearing jeans, they'll slide those down, and, your underwear included. Okay. They take that butter. I don't know what brand of butter. It could be Parquet. It could be Country Crock. It could be a number of different kinds of butter. But nevertheless, it is butter. They stick it in the microwave. They let it liquefy. They take it out of the microwave. They pull it out. They stick their tips into that warm butter, okay, for lubrication. And then they insert it in our asses. Okay, that is what Remedy Entertainment is trying to do right now. And what I mean by that is, let me break it down for you. Okay. All right. Now, if you guys aren't familiar with Remedy Entertainment, they're a company who came out with a game called Control. It was an awesome game. It was available for, most platforms, the main platforms, PlayStation and Microsoft. But the issue at hand here is the fact that they're going to be coming out for the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X. Now, my thing with Remedy, I've talked about this many occasions. A lot of you guys know what I'm talking about. The game was a little choppy as far as technically it's a little choppy. Okay. Anytime you have a game and it's a third party game, it's being made for more than one system, you tend to have issues like that because the developers are trying to, they're trying to streamline the game as best they can for more than one system. So it's kind of like they're doing too many things at one time and trying to get the same result, I guess. That's why whenever you see like first party games, they're just a little bit more special looking, feeling. You can just tell that it doesn't feel as generic, I want to say. And generic may not be the right word because the Control is definitely not generic. But what I'm trying to say is first party games, all they have to worry about is simply that piece of hardware that they're working on. They don't have to worry about anything else, so they can devote all their time and all their effort into that piece of hardware. And when you're talking about more than that, then you may have a limitation on one, and then that may create issues with the other one. So you can't get too far ahead on any one piece of hardware. So you got to kind of draw shit back, push shit forward until you find that healthy medium in there. And that's, in my opinion, is what created a lot of the choppiness and the technical issues that Control had. Beautiful game, though, graphically and all of that. It's just they didn't get a chance to streamline it the way that I think they were trying to. But now we get this chance to do so. I was hoping, at least until I heard the news, that I said, I really want to go back to Control after when I get the PS5, because hopefully there'll be some sort of update and then we'll get it and we can experience it the way it was really meant to be experienced, the way that they were probably, working on everything when they were developing it. Well, that's not going to happen unless you're willing to spend some extra cash, because what's happening right now with Remedy Games is these motherfuckers are saying, well, you know what? If you bought the game, you're going to, let me pull that back. If you don't get the Ultimate Edition right now, then you're fucked. So if you bought the Ultimate Edition for the PlayStation 4 or Xbox Series X, you are the only ones that will get that free update, and you'll get a chance to experience the upgraded version of the game when you get your brand new consoles, your next gen consoles, if you will. Now, even if you bought the game like I bought it, but didn't get all of the other shit, you're fucked, because you have to pay, I think it's $40, $39.99 for the upgrade, which should be free in my opinion if you already have the game. So if you already have the game, you're like, okay, but you got the PS5 now. Okay, you slide that boy in, boom, you get the download, you get the upgrade. But that's not how it's working. They want that extra money from you, and that doesn't make any sense to me. Now, I understand if you don't have the game, of course you want to get that one. But I think they're thirsty. They're too thirsty. They're trying to get all this money. They're doing some extra shit. All right. And a lot of people are not pleased by it. And they're hearing it. Okay. If you guys aren't familiar with Young, he's a YouTuber who's pretty known out here in these digital streets. He gives a lot of news. That's where I get a lot of my info from. So shout out to Young. Yeah. But yeah, man, it's real out here. People are trying to get over. They're trying to win. And it doesn't matter what genre you're interested in, or what hobby you like. It's going on everywhere. You cannot escape it. Okay. And now you're talking about video games, which is $1 billion business now. And it's just growing all the time. You're going to get these corporate companies. You're going to get these suits and these ties who really don't give a fuck about games. You know, they're missing the mark on a lot of things. All they see is green. Fuck the fans. What's going to get us that higher margin? And that's what we have with a lot of these companies. And that's why, in my opinion, I truly believe that gaming in a lot of different senses has fallen from grace because of that. Because it's as big as it is now. Because back then, you know, it wasn't as big and it wasn't as serious or as crucial. I think that's really what's happening. And I'm old enough to know both sides. You know, I came up, you know, playing the Nintendo all the way up until now. So I was there from the beginning of it and then in its infancy, so to speak. And I had a chance to see it grow and turn into what it is today and be a part of all of that shit in between. And look at what's happened to it and where it's going now. I'm not saying everybody is tainted by what's going on, because there are a lot of great companies out here. There really are, who truly believe in making a honest to God dope product and putting the fans first. That's 110% true. But there's a lot of companies, more, if I'm being honest, that are taking the other route, the dark side, if you will, no pun intended. But that's just the way it is, man. And when you got these huge companies, that's what you have to look forward to. Now, I hope they put the butter back in the cupboard. If enough fuss and enough dust is kicked up, we'll see. Only time will tell. I'll definitely keep you guys posted, but we'll see. Because a lot of times now, what's cool about social media is now the fans that are being heard loud and clear instantaneously when shit pops off that isn't right, people don't like, and if they get enough backlash, they will backtrack and they will change things up. I've seen it happen a million times, and that's some of the cool shit about it. You know, it can go the other way as well. It can definitely turn into some toxic shit depending on the scenario and situation, but you know, it can also go the other way as well. So that's where we're at right now with with Control. I hope they change that, because I really want to experience, you know, that game the way it's supposed to be experienced, and hopefully I get that opportunity, but I'm not going to pay that money for it. I guarantee you that. Okay. Anyway, let's move on. We got off of that. That was some potatoes. Let's get into some meat, some roast, some pork shoulder, if you will. Okay. The real shit. And this was what I was doing, this past week. I had a fucking blast doing it, guys. I want to kind of get the Avengers beta out the way first. And I had a chance to play that, and I'm still confused about this game, guys. I really, really am, man. I don't quite know what is around that corner. And what I mean by that is the game looks pretty good. Graphically, it's definitely nice. And I did enjoy myself for the most part of playing this game. Now, there were 4 characters that everybody got access to. You got Black Widow, you got Iron Man, you got Hulk, and you have Mrs. Marvel. I really, you know, I'm a big Captain America fan, huge Captain America fan. That is my guy. I really wanted to play him. I wanted to see what his thing was about. We got a chance to play him literally for maybe 2-3 minutes. Okay. When the introduction, when they let you get a taste of everybody for the most part, and then, you know, shit happens and you're basically responsible for getting the Avengers back together. I like how the story was going. I like the premise of the story and all of that. There's a lot of things in this game that they have done pretty fucking good. But the online was shaky. Now, I know this is a beta, and I know there's going to be bumps and bruises, you know, and I'm not done playing it yet. I'm going to play some more tomorrow before, you know, the time is up, and do a little bit more and see what else I can find. But for the most part, from what I've seen the gameplay loop. I know what the game intel is going. I pretty much know what it's going to be about. Now, what's going to make or break this game for me is going to be some of the missions. I know they're going to have some other missions and stuff like that in there. They had a few different missions they had a couple that I liked. Some were just okay. And there had a couple other ones in there that were like, They didn't last very long, and I don't know why they were doing them. I have to have faith that Square Enix has a lot of these just in their back pocket, and they're going to, always continue to upgrade and add new things. I'm sure they'll have dailies, events, weekly events, and things of that nature, and challenges and stuff. So it's definitely cool and dope when you play with your friends and everything's working. That didn't happen on the tail end of what I was playing. Now, at the beginning, it did. In the morning, me and one of my friends got on, man, and we played, and I was like, man, I'm really enjoying myself right now. And then, people started, it was early in the morning too. I mean, like 5 in the morning or something like that. But then people started to log on, and more people. And then the internet just started tripping. It was really, we couldn't get our shit together. We were putting together parties and putting together rooms, and we were thinking the shit was working, but no, we were getting kicked out, and we were just having to jump through all these hoops just to get a match together. But hopefully they get all that worked out. I mean, like I said, I understand this is a beta, and they're gonna have issues and stuff like that. So we'll see what happens. Next week is another beta. It's going to be free for everybody. So if you are on PS4, it is free now. You can download it, literally download it, and you can fucking get on and start playing it. If you have an Xbox or PC, you're going to have to wait unless you basically pre-ordered the game. If you did not pre-order the game, you will not have access to it. But next week, you get an opportunity to play it. Everybody does. It's open to everybody. So we'll see there how it goes. But I'm going to play a little bit more before I make my final decision. And really, I think I have to see the actual game because, like I said, I have to play my boy Cap. And then I have to see what some of these cosmetics are, man. I mean, see what they are going to do. And, what I was talking about earlier with how the corporate greed has basically taken over a lot of our gaming companies and how things operate. It's true with this game in, spades. You can see it. You can see all the advertising that's going on with this game. I mean, there's shit that you can buy if with Verizon. I think if you're a Verizon customer, you get access to these fucking skins, and only if you're a Verizon customer. And then there's some kind of fucking candy or gum or some shit that if you bought that, then you'd get access to, a certain skin for the characters. I'm like, really? You motherfuckers are going that far? You really are? Okay. They're really trying to push this game. I think personally in the next couple years, it's going to be a free to play game. And, hopefully they build on it enough to where people are still going to be caring about it after that time frame. Because a lot of people were bitching about Spider-Man not being, on the other versions. And, if you make it to even see Spider-Man is what I'm saying. Because, yeah, he could be on the game, but shit, if he's not coming out till 2021, which that he's not coming out when the game releases. They're working on this guy right now. So there's still a lot to be done. We may not even get to him. So, or they may be free to play again when you come back around, or $20 or something like that. And that's cool. I mean, if I had to make a decision right now, paying full price for it, I'm going to say no, not full price. But like I said, that could change after next week. That could change. You get some more missions or something like that. And then, we get to see how this cosmetic thing works and all of that, because a lot of the abilities were pretty dope. I'm not going to lie to you. They were really dope. So we'll see where it goes. We'll just see where it goes. But yeah, I can't really I don't have an answer. I didn't hate the game at all. I'm not saying that. I didn't love it either. So I'm kind of like, on the fence. I'm still on the fence. But I definitely look forward to playing it again and discovering more things and trying to figure out, what did I miss and what could be added. So I think a lot of those will get answered when the game releases. When the actual game releases and you get a chance to see how, the missions look and how varied they are and all of those things. So if you have the PlayStation, go out and download this shit now. I would love to pick your brain on it. If you're playing it right now, if you guys are listening, anybody who's playing it, what do you guys feel? How do you think the game is doing right now? Would you buy the game day one? I'd like to fucking know. Anyway, the last segment at hand, guys, I'm going to be talking about right now. And that is my experience with a store that goes by the name Founded Electronics and Video Games. Okay, let me tell you the story of how all this shit got started. All right. Now, I told you guys last week that, I wanted to get back into my retro gaming roots. I really wanted to get back in there and, start streaming, start putting out content with some of my retro games, some of my most favorite games in the world. And I think, I got away from that, a lot of these games. And what really made me realize that is what's going on in today's world with some of my favorite franchises, some of my favorite genre of game. And one of those is being fighting, the fighting scene, the fighting game scene. Okay. I love fighting games. All right. If you guys listen to me, I love my RPGs. I love my open world action RPGs, my third person video game experiences and stuff. I love them. That's my favorite genre. But right up under there is those fucking fighting games. Okay. I think that's why I loved High Score Girl so much, which is an anime anybody who, is a gamer should watch. Even if you're not necessarily an anime fan, I highly recommend, if you just love fighting games, period, or games, really, you could just watch High Score Girl season 1 and season 2 on Netflix right fucking now. Okay. It's so good. I love it so much. But anyway, I love my fighting games, and I have a Sega Saturn. I love the Sega Saturn for so many different reasons, not just fighting games. Nights into Dreams, Guardian Heroes. There were so many dope games on that system. That was my favorite system growing up. I just absolutely loved it, and I had to have it in my collection. And I made that a reality, months ago. Finally found another Sega Saturn. They're not very expensive, which is cool. Same thing goes for my next purchase that I'm going to talk about. And that, my friends, is the SEGA Dreamcast. Yes. I've been meaning to get one. I knew I was going to eventually get one, but I didn't know when. And once I started poking my head around, calling different places and stuff, finding out, what was there, what was not, then I started to, get very, very excited. My movie trading company is the first place I ended up seeing them at. And I remember some months back seeing it there, and they had one at the time, but then they sold it. Okay, so basically I went back to ground zero. I did my homework. Now, there was a few games that are my favorites. That are some of my favorite video games, period, that I needed in my collection, that I needed to be able to play. And a lot of these were on the fucking Dreamcast. Some of them were on the Saturn as well. Okay. But the Dreamcast had Marvel vs. Capcom 2, one of the greatest crossovers ever fucking made, one of the hugest rosters. That's when everything was cool. That's when the gaming scene wasn't as prominent as it is now. And that's when, you had characters like Jill from fucking Resident Evil there. I mean, you had Captain Commando. You had so many awesome characters, man. And the list goes on and fucking on. You had all the X-Men characters, so many X-Men characters. Wolverine, fucking Cyclops, my boy. Captain America, my boy. Okay, Iceman, my boy. I used to love fucking Iceman and Children of the Atom. Love that fucking game as well. That's on the Sega Saturn. But anyway, this place that I found, the Dreamcast brought me there, okay? Because the movie trading company had them for like $90 if they had them in stock. But I called this place, and this place was literally like 50 minutes away from where I was at. And I don't like driving far, out to places a lot of the time, okay? But it was worth the trip, because this place, Founded Electronics and Video Games, is fucking awesome, guys. If you check out my Instagram, you will definitely see a snippet of just the gorgeousness of what was there. Okay. I was so happy to be there. And I'm going to do a video. I took some more footage, a little bit more. I'm going to be doing a video in the near future about that and what I actually picked up. But I'm going to tell you guys what I picked up, because you're my listeners, and I'm just going to let you know. I got a Dreamcast, and something told me, going to a place far away from home, okay, an awesome place who had so many different games. They had every fucking system, pretty much from the Atari on up there. Okay. Every handheld, all these things and all these games. And I said, you know what? I'm not going to be able to just walk out of here with a fucking Dreamcast. And I didn't. I wasn't able to do it, guys. And I knew, because I wasn't going to be coming back anytime soon. So I had to make it count. I had to make the shit count. So I found my Dreamcast, and, I had to make sure I checked the bottom of the Dreamcast, because if there's certain numbers underneath them, it means something. So there's like a circle, a 0, a 1, or a 2. And if you have a 0 or a 1, you're pretty much cool on playing burned CDs on the Dreamcast, because a lot of people don't know that you can literally burn your Dreamcast games right now. Any game you want, you can pretty much burn it. If you follow a few instructions on the internet, you can do that. You can also do it for the Saturn. Any game that you can't get a hold of because it's $400 to $500 or something like that, hey, don't worry. You can find it, you can download it, and you can have it. Also, if you want to take another route, you could also do that, and you could go the reproduction route, which I think everybody should go. All right, especially those hard to find games, those very expensive games. You get the artwork, you get the instruction manuals, you get everything as if it was a brand new game, and the artwork is changed up, and it's awesome. Okay, I went to Etsy, which I recommend going there if you're looking for a game and you want a case for it, and you want the disc to be, decorated, and you want that to be custom made as well. They do all of that. I mean, the shit looks awesome, man. My shit should be coming in the mail in the next few days. Yeah, I got some bangers. Okay, I got some of my classics: Street Fighter 3, Third Strike, Marvel's Capcom 2, Capcom vs SNK 2. These are the games right here. Okay, these are all the fucking classics. So I say that to say this: I went there. I had a fucking blast. Me and my son. We put on our little masks. We ran in there, and yeah, man, they had so many dope things in there. They had a lot of shit from Japan as well. And right before I walked out of there, I went to the counter and I said, "Fuck." I was looking for, keep in mind, I got my Sega Saturn, but when I played it, I've been playing it on my fucking monitor. I got a regular TV, bigger TV, and then I have like a smaller monitor TV that, I like to play my retro shit on. But this, the showing, the screen and shit, it wasn't to my liking, because whenever you get an older game system and you try to play it on a, modernized TV, it looks like fucking shit. It's blurry as hell. It's not crisp, any of that. You don't get the full 480p, and that's what you get. You get 480, but it's crisp, and you get that if you do it right. So they had a piece that I was looking for that I was going to order online anyway, and they had it there. So it was $30. So I said, you know what? I need to get this now. So I still need to get the same equivalent to the Dreamcast. I'm going to do that soon. And I discovered something that I just didn't think was fucking possible. And I can't believe that I didn't know about this before, but this is why technology is so fucking beautiful. I'll get to this in two shakes of a lamb's tail. Before I walked out of that store, I had my Dreamcast, I had my memory card, I had that back piece hookup for my Saturn, and I was, getting ready to walk out, and then something just stopped me. I said, you know what? Fuck. There was a game that I've been looking for, guys, and I could not find it. I had an opportunity to get it one time a couple years ago, and I just fucking missed it because it was cheap, and I said, you know what? I'll be able to find it. And then ever since then, maybe I could not get my hands on it. And it still was not very expensive. And thank God for that. But it's one of my favorite games all time on the Nintendo 64. And I asked him, I said, yo, do you have WCW NWO Revenge? And if you guys aren't familiar with this game, Google this shit, okay? Yes, the graphics are dated now, but that game brought me so much joy, so many memories, man. I loved, and I will always love that game for that. And WCW was my shit as a kid. I loved the NWO. I loved Sting, Macho Man Randy Savage when he went there, Mr. Perfect went there. I mean, that had the best roster. That had the best wrestling roster, man, I think. I don't know if I can find another game that had a better roster. I'm so serious. Everybody on that fucking game was the shit. Okay. And all the characters I named, like Macho Man and Mr. Perfect and all those guys, they got caught. They were there at the right time the game was being made, so they were included in the roster. Okay, you had Scott Hall, you had all these guys, man, a lot of them were WWF, and they were WCW. It was just a perfect storm with this game. Raven, all of these guys that I love so much were in this fucking game. So I had so many hours spent playing with friends. I remember we broke up with our girlfriends all at the same time. It was just some crazy fluke shit. Like, it could not have happened at any other time, man, but it somehow happened. and we all broke up with our girlfriends, man. So we were all moping around sick. And my mom's boyfriend at the time, you know, he took me to Walmart and he didn't tell me why. And then he bought me the game, and he bought me a couple controllers, extra controllers. So I was hype. I wanted this game so bad. So I came home. I went to my friend's house and we stayed, you know, we were depressed, but I got this game and we kind of cheered up, and we basically played this game for 2 days straight with no sleep. I mean, we had like, you know, food breaks, you know, a couple breaks like that, but that was it, man. Me, my boy Todd, his little brother, we stayed up all night. It was like 3 and 4 of us, man. And we were just having these brawls and having these matches. We played it all night. It was so fucking fun. And I'll never forget that. Never, ever, ever. And that's why this game will always have a special place in my heart. And it was just a great game. It was just a great fucking game. So they had it. Okay. And he was like, let me go look in the back and see. I was like, God, please let me. They got to have this game. And luckily they had it, and it only cost $11. So I said, yes, I will take this game because I do not know where I will find it again. And they actually overpriced in other places. Like if you find it on like eBay or something, they're kind of taxing you a little bit on that. But anyway, I got it. I was pleased. I was happy. Something that I discovered later, just recently, really, you know, about the technology, about where we are right now as far as retro games. Retro gaming has came so far. There's so many dope things now to love about the retro scene. I mean, goddamn. And like I said, some of the best games, fighting games, I don't think will ever be matched by like Marvel vs. Capcom and, you know, Capcom versus SNK 2 and some of these other games, you know, X-Men. So many fucking great titles. Okay. I'm just happy that we're in a place now where we're getting this stuff, even as we speak. We're getting stuff made for these older consoles now. Now I knew they were making, you know, certain controllers for certain things, like, okay, Sega Saturn. I knew they had controllers that were wireless, but you know, Retrobit was making them. They're an awesome company, man. They make dope shit. And they, you know, where you could play your shit wireless. Now, here's my issue with the Dreamcast. Now, as much as I love the Dreamcast, they made it fucking hard for you to buy accessories. And I'm talking about controllers and such. Now, you have the standard controller that it comes with. Now, if you're a fighting game guy like me, who played the Dreamcast mainly for fighting games, then you had an issue with that controller. Okay, it would fuck your thumb up. It would scuff your shit up. Okay, we need an alternative. And I had to dig a little bit for this, but thankfully I did, and I'm glad I found it, because man, there is actually a device. But before I found this device, let me say this real quick. I was looking for a fight stick, and they do have their fight sticks, and their fight sticks are going for about $100. And, you know, they wear out. I've heard stories of you know, the analog kind of wearing out on it after a little time or whatever. But anyway, so I said, damn, is there nothing for the fucking Dreamcast? And then I got hit with a company who was actually making a standard version, a up-to-date version of a Dreamcast controller, which looks awesome, by the way. It's shaped differently. It looks pretty fucking streamlined and pristine. And it's coming out September, and they want $50 for it. And that's a little pricey, but it's definitely worth it if you are a retro gamer and you enjoy those fighting games. But there's something even better than that I discovered. There's something called, what is this shit called? Wingman SD. Now, if you guys are retro players and you guys are looking for something out there, an alternative for your controller, then you definitely want to fuck with this Wingman SD. Okay, it's about $50. All right, I seen it on Amazon for like $45. Okay, but what it does is it allows you to play your fucking Dreamcast or your Sega Saturn with fucking wireless controllers. I'm talking about Xbox. I'm talking about PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, even the Switch Pro controller. Okay, you can use your fight sticks with it. All of this shit. It blew my fucking mind that I didn't know about this. But like I said, I have not been fucking with, you know, the retro shit for a minute. especially Dreamcast. So like I said, as anybody who is going to get back into certain things, you want to discover things, you want to kind of do your homework. And that's what I started to do. And I discovered this shit, man. Wingman SD. This shit is awesome. And I'm going to buy one. And I can't wait to play my Dreamcast with my fucking PS4 controller, man. Or my PS3 controller. Or my fucking Nintendo Switch Pro controller. I can use it. I won't have to buy another controller at all. Or if I want a fight stick, I can use another fight stick, a PS3 fight stick, PS4. I mean, it doesn't fucking matter. This is the beauty of it. It is so worth $50 for this. And that's what I mean when technology is crazy now. And the scene is crazy now. Somebody put it upon themselves to say, you know what? The retro scene is so big now that we should make this and we will be prosperous at it. And it's a thing. If it wasn't popping, if retro gaming wasn't as prominent as it is now, trust me, these guys wouldn't be wasting their time making this shit. They just wouldn't. I say that to say I'm so happy to be back on the retro scene and enjoying some of my classic games. Okay, my rival schools, my Project Justices of the world. Okay, I can't wait, guys. I cannot wait now. I'm inspired again. My content is going to change up now. My Friday Night Fights segment is going to just take another leap on another level now, because, like I said, I love fighting games, and now I'll be able to play some of my favorites of all time again. And I don't even know how to act. You know what I mean? It feels so good. And I'm just thankful that I was able to find a Dreamcast for a decent price and able to find all this stuff available. And you guys can too if you hadn't known. I'm sure a lot of you guys do know. But like I said, man, I didn't know about this device, and now I do. So maybe somebody listening didn't know, and we're looking for something, and hopefully I helped you with that. And now you can move forward. And, next thing is I hope we could maybe hook up a server to where we could hook the Dreamcast up or even the Sega Saturn, and we could play. Now, I know I've heard people have been flirting with a lot of some of this stuff on Discord. I'm going to look more into that. But if you guys know anything that I don't, please feel free to comment. Let me know. We've reached the end of the show. So if you do want to reach out to me, or if you do have something you want to add, please holler at your boy. I'm on social media everywhere. You can check me out on Instagram at StudioMaguyver79. You can check me out on Twitter at StudioMaguyver. Check out the Facebook page at StudioMaguyver as well. Also, if you love me, if you like what you are listening to, man, and you want to show your support, go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel. That's Studio MacGyver TV. Plenty of stuff there. I drop videos 3-4 times a week. Go help your boy out. Yeah, last but not least, man, definitely, if you need some merch, some awesome fucking merch, go and check out Beautiful Nerds at Teespring. Okay, they have some dope shit, man. They really fucking do. You guys need to check them out. And also, concerning me, if you want more podcast, more than just once a week, and you want to try to help me, make that happen, you can make a donation to the cause. You can donate to your boy a couple of different ways, actually. One, on the Cash App. If you are familiar with the Cash App, then I shouldn't have to say anything. Millions of people have it. But just look up Cash App and look up Studio MacGyver, or you can check me out on PayPal and you can make a donation there. That's paypal.me/Studio MacGyver. Okay. And with that being said, guys, I want to thank everybody for listening to this podcast this week. All the newcomers, man, I'm so pleased. I'm so happy that you guys are here. I've been getting so much love. So many new listeners. I don't necessarily know why. I'm not really pushing anything, but maybe word of mouth, maybe, I don't know, man. But I really, really appreciate it. And to everybody else who's been down for day one, you know how I feel. You know I love you. And hopefully the new listeners can become part of that as well. We do this all the time, every fucking week. We talk about nerd shit. We talk about video games, and we talk about anime. So with that being said, guys, I love you all, and I will see you next week. This is Studio MacGyver, and you have been listening to Studio MacGyver's Dragon Ball and Video Game Podcast. See you next time.